Go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Daylightcast. We're only three people today. Me, we got Mathman,
Hello there.
and we got Otofu.
Hey, what's up?
Hello, the people. And this might be a short episode. We don't have done many topics. Someone just pinged me on Discord that it was not your Discord. Just put myself into not disturb. There we go. Alright. First topic. Let's actually start with everything. Start with the thing that everybody's talking about, which are the Freddy nerfs. I think we all know what the Freddy nerfs are. If not, let me just try to find them, because I have written that down somewhere. Well, one of the nerfs is that he's gonna slow down basically, and he's gonna have a 10-second delay. I think we should just start with that, because those are, I think, the most significant ones. Right?
Yeah.
I think those are pretty significant.
So okay, so the 10-second delay is basically
I support it.
after. Yeah. It's basically what it is though to like explain further is that whenever he has someone asleep and they're in a chase or whatever. Currently in like the current live build, if they get out of his terror radius, he sees their aura immediately and basically can get it makes it so that you can't ever really escape him if you're in the dream world. Like if he's chasing you and even if you get away, he sees your aura and then he can just chase you down again. Like there's no getting away from him, you know. Like if he wants to chase you until you're dead, even if you pull off an amazing play and break line of sight and lose him, he just finds you anyway because that's what he does. He's Freddy, you know. Like that's like his ability, and they're changing that so that now, after you escape in a chase, like if you get out of his terror radius, you have 10 seconds before your aura shows to him. So you could use that 10 seconds to find someone who's awake to wake you up. Basically, you use that 10 seconds to wake up. Like whether it's finding someone who's awake or failing a skill check, but you actually have time now to like try to get it to wake up and actually escape him, which is a great change. I think that's an amazing change because I think that's a big problem with Freddy right now.
Makes him feel a lot more fair to fight, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. Like the thing that we generally don't want is like killers that restrict the gameplay or anything in this game. Not even killers, anything in general in this game that restricts gameplay. You shouldn't be forced to play in a play style where you have to kite him and you can't use stealth, and you shouldn't be forced the other way around either, where you have to use stealth. And that's why it's bad. Like you should have the option to either try to use stealth to escape him, or kite him around a long time on pallets, and this will give them the option to actually escape, which is nice. I think it's a great change.
I agree with you a lot on that one. I think I don't know. I think the slowdown might be too much with what they go through, though, and that's what I'm kind of worried about. Is it affecting? Because I don't think Freddy's that good at high level play. I just think he's an asshole,
Agreed. Yeah, he's pretty shit at high level play. Like if you're playing with good survivors, you're gonna get wrecked.
You play Freddy to ruin someone else's day, basically.
Exactly. That's literally what you do, and that's why I hate Freddy. Is because you literally just play Freddy to be an asshole. Like you slug people, You run knockout. It's like, dude, I don't even get to play the game for 4 minutes. I'm just fucking laying here. So like, I wish they would do something to make Freddy more appealing at high level play, and I think there was a change they mentioned that would be for that. But I think like slow down upon putting someone in Dream World. I don't know if that's the biggest problem personally that like matters. I do too. Like that's what I'm worried about. I did some crunching of the numbers. It's actually not as bad as I thought.
Doing the math.
Yeah, so over 3 seconds, Horvath hit me with the numbers that they were testing. They even said like they think it might be too much, so we're going to continue to test it. But currently, within 3 seconds, or right now, it's you go at 95% speed for 1 second. So it's like nothing. You're still faster than a survivor. You're hag speed. Think of it like that. You're pretty much walking at hag speed for a single second. Now, what they want to do is they want to change it so it's 3 seconds and it's not 95, but instead it's a curve from 95 to 60% over 2.1 seconds, and then for 0.9 seconds, going back up and ramping up back to 95%. So with a bit of numbers crunching, you're not that much slower than a survivor, but you don't outrun the survivor, which is I think the biggest problem. You'll be going like 3.5 meters a second, so you're slower than a survivor by 0.5 meters, meaning they're going to gain a total of 1.5 meters distance. Then to just close that distance, you're going to need to spend 2.5 seconds walking after them again. So over your 7-second normal dream transition, you're going to be spending 5.5 seconds just to gain the initial distance from where you originally started. I think this is a problem because then you only have 1.5 seconds to actually catch up to them.
Wait, so basically is what you're saying is, okay, like if we could sum it up in like a really easy way, is what you're saying basically, if you put someone into the dream world and then you say you guys both run in a straight line in an open field, would it actually take you 9 seconds to be able to hit them once they go into the world?
No. So if you were, for example, you'll gain. So all right, let me explain this. So with Freddy, with this proposed change, if you're right on top of someone when you put them to sleep, you're still gonna get a quote unquote hit after they come out of sleep, right? It's, for example, if I was 8 meters away or whatever his power, I think it's somewhere around like 8 to 10 meters. If I was that distance away and put someone to sleep and walked in a straight line with them, I would not get a hit. That's the difference, pretty much.
Gotcha.
Because you won't gain like you won't gain 0.6 meters per second over the survivor closing that distance. Because in 7 seconds you can close 0.6 a second.
I gotcha, but yeah, I don't know why they added that. I'm not sure why that was a thing that was like. I don't think that was an issue, like how fast he moved while people were like transitioning, because they have 7 fucking seconds,
Exactly,
like,
and
that's
that's
7 seconds to get to anything.
That's the downside of it by itself, is the 7 seconds.
Yeah, like why do you need a speed downside as well? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Makes it obvious, honestly, why people that complained about Freddy in general were just people who, they didn't get it. They didn't get that you have 7 seconds.
They don't understand how to counterplay. Yeah.
I mean, see, but like, I think the people that complained were like the people that were like newer and like relied on stealth. Which, I mean, it is like Freddy is bad for those people, but at the same time, that's not the part that was bad. The part that was bad was like the other change we talked about, the seeing auras the second you leave. You know what I mean? And that got changed. So I don't know why they had to change the other thing as well. Like that was an unneeded nerf. You know what I mean?
Agreed. I think the only thing this speed really does is make it so if you're in a chase with someone and then you put someone else in the dream world, your other chase isn't going to be as easy. You know how right now you can just run past, tag everybody you run past, and continue whatever chase you want? Yeah. I don't know if this change was intended to make that so you can't do that, because with this you wouldn't be able to chase as effectively. Like you'd be slower than the survivor for that time, meaning you'd take an extra 5.5 seconds in your previous chase. So I think that's the actual thing that it affects, like thinking about it. But I don't see why, because I think that's just being a smart Freddy is putting people to sleep while you're mid-chase. That's what you do. You put everyone to sleep. And if the survivor has poor enough awareness and positioning to just let you put them to sleep mid-chase, I think the survivor should be punished for that, not Freddy,
Agreed. Yeah, agreed. I think as a survivor, you should be aware of where Freddy is and who he's chasing, and you shouldn't put yourself in a position to be put to sleep. I completely agree. I think you should be punished if you do, and I think the killer should be rewarded. Because as it is right now, anyway, with Freddy, it's already hard enough to create pressure as it is. So like that's kind of an unnecessary thing. Like you need to be able to put people to sleep as you stroll past it. If you can't do that, you're never gonna be able to sit on the game enough, And even with that, it's still hard to sit on the game enough a lot of the time. Like he's not a good killer, honestly. Like he's really not.
He's
like
pretty
niche,
I think
that's why.
To be honest.
Yeah, and that's why everyone's pissed about him getting nerfed, is because like against survivors who are like remotely good at all at the game, he's pretty much fucking garbage, to be honest. Like if there's like 4 good survivors who like each one that you chase is like hard to catch and takes like maybe a gen or 2 to catch, and then the other survivors actually focus generators and don't like dick around and crotch walk around the map, it's like almost impossible to create enough pressure to like, unless you do some like slugging with like NOED and like crazy shit like that. Like if you're just playing the game just like normal without like, and even with slugging sometimes it's hard, but even then it doesn't always work,
which is also getting nerfed, that like they're gonna combine people that are dreaming and they're slugged on the ground. Healing and waking up will be combined into one action.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, which honestly,
I don't know really. I think going with what we suggested, which is M1 heal, M2 wake up, give people the option what they want to do first would have been better. But I don't know.
So I definitely see that side, but like when I think about it in my head with being able to choose wake up and heal, I think that should be something that's just in the game. I think there's some situations, not even slug, where you're like, dude, I really gotta heal this guy, in the dream world because he's being chased, and like I don't wanna spend 6 seconds waking him up. Because then, I don't know, maybe Freddy's gonna come back right away, or he's just gonna go back and tunnel this guy, and I wanna get the heal out. So I think having that option anyways is just a good thing and helps promote like an actual choice of, hey, we'll get a heal out first and then I'll wake you up when we're actually safe. Instead of you're not safe. Yeah. I don't know. It's
just like making good decisions as a survivor.
Yeah, exactly.
Like when do you want to actually wake someone up and when do you want to just heal someone and then run away?
For sure, and that's good. And then even they could make like a bad choice, for example. Let's say they were going for the heal, and then you got there because your aura kicked in and you could see them. Like there's that whole thing, and it's like why won't you let people get a choice? Because choice can completely change the game for better or for worse, So it's having that choice, I think, makes the game more interesting and fun as well. It's like, we got a choice here, if Freddy's coming, maybe we'll pull off a heal, get a clutch heal out. He'll put his bolt into sleep, maybe get a hit on, the game goes on, he gets another chase. Instead of, being forced to wake somebody up in every situation, which can, in various places become a bad thing. Like, let's say somebody's 80% healed, but they couldn't finish it off, and you can't heal them because you're now forced to wake them up.
Yep. I mean, I've honestly been in that situation before.
Same. It's noticeable, especially like when you're there and you notice it. It's just like, damn, this feels really shitty, and someone just gets fucking knocked down for it.
Yeah, it goes further into the issue of literally Dead by Daylight. One button does everything for both sides.
M1
like as Survivor, M1 does everything. As Killer, M1 and or Spacebar does everything.
Remember when you had to use M1 to break pellets?
Dude, that shit was so dumb. When you just
when you hit the pellet like a complete idiot.
Yeah,
just smacking the pellet.
Yep. Yeah, but still, like the fact that there's only one or two buttons that does everything. Like there's like how many different actions that you can do, and only like two buttons. Like it causes a lot of stupid shit. Like how many times have you like down someone near a window, go to pick them up, and then you fall the window and accident?
Yeah, or check a lock.
Or like you try to save someone from a hook by taking a hit, but then you start self-carrying instead of...
Or you pick up an item on the ground. I've done that so many fucking times.
The item is the worst. Or let's not even get started on fucking mint rag hag, dude.
Oh my god.
You try to break a pallet, fucking teleport. You try to fucking...
just gone.
You try to vault a window, teleport. You try to pick up a survivor, teleport. Like no matter what you do, it's just spacebar does everything. You get fucked.
Yeah, I think they should definitely put some new keys. There's this thing that we have called the keyboard.
Yeah, there's a lot of keys on that.
Which de facto has 104 keys by default. At least the US layout does.
There's a lot. I'm looking down. There's a lot there, dude.
There's a lot.
For sure.
There's at least 12. At least 12. I can see at least 12 keys.
Yeah, dude. Exactly. I think that's enough right there.
I think the only problem, which I really hate to say this and I disagree with it, is that if they make it better for keyboard and mouse, then you still have the problem of console button mapping and being fucking shit. Yeah. So I'll let you know something. The same button for M1 and space as Survivor are both the same on an Xbox controller. An example is someone went to disarm a trap at a window and vaulted the window with the controller. Like, this is some of the problems that'll occur. And I mean, I don't care about console, but they have to appeal for that now that they fucked themselves by making it so they have to deal with consoles because they're now on console, So now you have all these problems that come for PC because, like, maybe we could just get our own buttons, sure. But then console still has those weird interactions. I know, but, like, I think they use... Actually, I don't know how many of them they use, but I thought it was a fair bit. But anyways, it's still like stupid when you think about it, like how many buttons we have, yet we don't have, differences for things like picking up, breaking pallets, smacking for 1 point. It's just like M1 is everything, and so is spacebar.
What I don't understand is the devs seem to be unwilling to give the players choice in so many aspects. Like, just why can't they just why not just give it the choice? Like, I think it feels like the devs have this mentality where, like, oh man, if we give them more keys, like, if we can like, they can't just give us the choice. Like, maybe somebody wants to have every button in M1, I don't know. But why can't they give them the choice, you know? Why do they think that they have to force everyone to have every action on a separate button? No.
Exactly.
Just
like, if
give
you
us a
wanted
choice.
it, just bind it all to be the same button and make it so you're able to do that. You know, at least allow the ability to change every different action to be different buttons. Like, even wiggling for some people is really bad because it, like, destroys their hands if they have what was the thing called? It's like it's not arthritis, but it's a type of thing that makes it hard. Yes, carpal tunnel. Thank you.
Yeah.
So, like, there's things like that, you know. It'd be really cool if maybe you could press a single button. I don't even understand why wiggling is like you're forced to press it and paste.
Or like the spacebar mesh on the hook.
Exactly, like that's just like not needed.
But I mean, it's in there because you're supposed to feel like you're in a serious situation.
Yo, can we get back on topic, by the way, real quick?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry.
I just want to say there's something I kind of want to say, like, in general about the Freddy nerfs that I feel like I should just like opened with. You know, like, it's kind of weird to say it halfway through, but at the same time, I feel like a big thing that people aren't understanding is that, like, okay, Freddy the way he is right now in live is basically he's pretty shit at high ranks, which we've already discussed. Like, if you're playing against good survivors, you know what I mean. I shouldn't say high ranks because, like, there's a lot of rank ones that aren't great, so. Of course, people will be like, but I 4K at rank 1. But you know what I mean? Against actual good survivors, he's pretty much trash, you know? And against, like, brand new survivors who, like, rely on stealth and aren't, like, super efficient, he's, like, I mean, of course, every killer's strong there, but he's, like, no counterplay strong, you know? Like, they makes them feel helpless. Whereas at least with other killers, they don't feel helpless. They feel like they can hide. They feel like there's things they could do. Whereas with Freddy, they literally feel helpless. He's invisible. He pulls them into the dream world, and then they can't get away from him because he sees their auras all the time. Like, it literally makes newer players feel helpless to the game. It makes them not want to play at all, you know, which is a huge problem. Like, you can go ahead and say, like, oh, don't balance the game around new players. But at the same time, when new players play, they have to have a reason to stay, you know? If they play the game and they're just getting shit on by a killer that they feel like is completely broken, which he is. I mean, against brand new survivors, he is. He's completely broken. Then that's going to hurt the game, you know? And what they're doing is they're basically making him manageable at low ranks, at least a little, while keeping his core design. So that I'm assuming later on they're gonna buff him to, like, give him some strength against high ranks, because I mean he does need it. He is gonna be shit against high ranks for a while now because he was already bad, you know. So he is gonna be kind of bad for a little bit, but it's much better to have him be, like, kind of bad for a while until they can make him better. You know what I mean? Rather than being fucking brokenly OP to the point where he's making people quit the game. You know what I mean? So I just want to say that it is a healthy change. Everyone seems to be, like, really fired up about it and, like, really pissed off because they're nerfing someone who already, like, isn't that good or whatever. And everyone's saying, oh, they're fucking bouncing the game around low ranks and blah blah blah. And I really don't think they are. Like, they're it's like a quality of life change for the game as a whole right now. And later on, he'll get, like, the balance changes, you know, that will help him out at high ranks. And people just need to, like, chill out and stop screaming about it because it'll be all right. You just got to give him some time.
I agree.
What I can't. Oh yeah, but what I can't agree at all. I mean, sorry. What I don't understand at all is, like, people who just came into the game from the sale, and they get crushed by Freddy, and then they complain that Freddy is stupid and he's just broken. Like, dude, you're new to the game. You would have gotten crushed by a hillbilly or, like, I don't know, by a Myers just as much as by a Freddy. Because you're new to the game, you don't know what you're doing.
See, but, like, that's the thing though, is that new players, at least against people like, you know, Billy or, like, you know, Trapper or whatever, they at least feel like they can do something. Like, they hear the heartbeat, they hide, you know, they feel like they have things that they can do. Whereas Freddy is literally an invisible person that comes up, pulls you into the dream world, and then no matter how much you hide, you're caught because you can see your aura. You know what I mean? It, like, as a new player, that's all you have is hiding. You know, you can't, like, you feel like sort of empowered by the fact that you can at least hide from the killer, because you don't know what the hell you're doing yet. And Freddy like takes that away, So like, I mean, I do agree that they shouldn't be leaving bad Steam reviews on the game and shit because they don't know anything about the game or whatever. But at the same time, like it is kind of understanding because I'm sure some people probably do just quit the game because they're just like, fuck this, like why even bother trying to learn? Like I can't even learn because I'm trying to hide from killers and this motherfucker can see me at all times, So I mean, I don't blame them, but at the same time, I don't know. It sucks. It just sucks all around. I think these changes will help a lot, though.
What if,
I agree.
like, just as a speculation, what if they've just, instead of changing Freddy, what if they've just made it so for the next month, if you're below rank 12, you cannot get matched against a Freddy. What about
I
that?
know, because that'll fuck their matchmaking a lot, and
yeah, and even still, that's more like restrictions. I don't like that. Like, okay, if you're this rank, you're literally not allowed to play Freddy and shit. Like, I don't know. It's a DLC. If you pay money for a DLC, I'd be fucking pissed if I couldn't play that DLC.
That's true, I guess. So, I
if,
mean, it was
if
just,
you were
like
rank
a
18,
weird train of thought. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I think it's a cool idea, and it's good to like throw it out there because that could be a potential route. Be like, we'll patch, we'll pair up people at lower ranks with killer who play Freddy, with people that are slightly more experienced, but still not high ranks, something like rank 12, as you were saying. So they might have a slightly better understanding of the game, and at least they put some time into it, so they won't feel as helpless as new survivors. But I think a lot of these changes, or at least some of them, I agree with the high ranks because it's just like Freddy's not good, but he's not fun to play against. So like, why would you like to play Freddy? Do you just like ruining people's time? And I feel like there's things.
That's why a lot of killers play DVD actually.
True, but I mean, like, if I'm playing against a hillbilly, I was like, oh, cool, I get to dodge the chainsaw, or I get, chainsaw in the back, and now I'm dead-zo. Against, what's it called? The doctor, he's just gonna shock me and shock me and make me literally go crazy. But he isn't gonna leave me on the ground for 4 minutes bleeding me out, you know what I'm saying? From infinite range. So if anyone comes to pick me up, oh, smack, and you're in the dream world, and I run Noed because there's no way to wake up after the game's over. So once you're in the dream world and everyone's in the dream world, you're literally fucked. Like, I don't know, there's just a lot of, like, bad design around Freddy for how he actually can just be such a dick. Like, every killer can be a dick, but I feel like Freddy's entire kit is like, hey, why don't you just leave someone on the ground for 4 minutes so your time efficiency is better, You get to see them the entire time, and it takes 7 seconds to actually get them up off the ground because you have to wake them up in a 6-second action and then heal them,
See, I think this also, like, I kind of wish Flair was here. I think this also comes a lot with what Flair always says about why slugging is so meta right now, Because I think we do need the game reverted back to, like, if you guys remember back in the day when, like, you used to be able to recover to, like, actual, like, I think it was more like 95% or something.
It was exactly 95, yeah.
Like 85. Yeah,
and
what do you
have to get tapped and whip you up.
Yeah. It was basically like a 1 second. I think it was less than a second tap. I mean, I guess with Freddy it would be a whole second because you do everything like half speed or whatever.
Slower by default, yeah.
Yeah, but that would be so, like, honestly, I think that needs to come back in a big way because even without Freddy, even like slugging nurses have been a problem a lot lately. But like for Freddy's even worse because he just it's like you said, there's no downfall to it. You pick up slower.
Have to use Deerstalker.
Yeah, he doesn't have to use Deerstalker. You pick up slower because you're in the dream world. There's no way to get out of the dream world. I think having pickups being faster would help out a lot, like a lot against that. And I don't think that's necessarily like bad design for Freddy. Like, I do think it is sort of in a way, but I also think it would be like more manageable if like slugging just wasn't so beneficial as it is. I think that's something that's like a general balance change that needs to be looked at. But no, I do agree. Like in the current state of the game, though, like how the game is right this moment, yeah, like Freddy pretty much has the perfect kit to just play in a way that is just like I hate to call like any play style scummy, because like you're playing the game however the fuck you want to play the game, and there's always those people who are like, killing's my job, forehead, whatever the fuck, and like, as dumb as they sound to me, like at the same time, they are almost right in a way because, like, I mean, you shouldn't have to like, yeah, you shouldn't have to like play by rules, like you shouldn't have to play your game by rules and shit. But at the same time, you also shouldn't. It shouldn't even be possible to play killer in a way that ruins the fun of survivors, But it's unfortunate because right now there is, there's so many ways to do that. And it's more like a courtesy thing right now where it's like, hey, killers, please don't do this because it's fucking scummy and ruins our fun. And then at the same time, it's like, okay, survivors don't do this as well. Like me as a survivor, I'm not going to bring an insta-blind against anybody because I know that shit's fucking terrible. Me as a killer, I'm not going to camp people because I know that shit's terrible. It's just a courtesy thing. I mean, obviously you don't have to, you know what I mean? Like, you're not forced to play any play style, but at the same time, you're still going to get shit if you do it because it's super unfun to play against,
Especially with this community.
Yeah, exactly.
This is like one of the worst communities I've ever seen, where there's like the extent that people... There was this guy on Reddit once who got sent tons of pizzas to his house because some survivors didn't like how he played killer. What?
That is interesting.
I saw that was a long time ago. I remember.
I know, but I still remember that.
Yeah.
Like, even in a game like... Alright, I don't actually know if that hasn't happened. But, like, in a game like League of Legends, people don't go that far over somebody that's ruined their fun. Which I don't understand, because in League of Legends, if someone on your team decides to be a dick, you're stuck there for 40 minutes.
Yeah, League's the worst with that kind of shit.
Yeah, at least with Dead by Daylight,
people aren't being that much of a dick to you after that game. And then in DBD, you got your fun ruined for like 8 minutes, and people go to crazy extents. It's weird, man. The world's weird.
I agree.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, where the hell was I? I don't know, dude. I mean, I guess, yeah, we were just talking about how Freddy is basically super easy to be a dick. And yeah, I agree.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he is. His kid is basically built around, like, playing in that, like, quote unquote scummy way that's super unfun to play against, and it is. It sucks, but it really is. Like,
you know what I want?
He's like what's that?
I want for the next 6 months, even though I know they'll never do that, but I just wish for the next 6 months they wouldn't release any content and just solely focus on balancing and making the game more fun in general.
They can't do that, man. I've heard a lot of people.
They actually can't. Yeah.
That's the way I said it. It's just like it's like a wet dream, but come on.
Yo, my wet dream is Matt not making another map until other maps are fixed. Like I don't, content's a different story. The game slowly gets changes here and there, but I still feel like they actually do get changes. Maps fucking never. Like, we just got Ironworks after like fucking forever. And it even had a problem in it where that pallet right by the window that lets you loot the window a single other time with being safe just got reverted back unintentionally or something. I don't know. It's back there. But, like, I don't know. It's going to take forever to fix that as well because Matt constantly works by himself. Like, I actually think they should get another map designer who can strictly work on new content and just have Matt actually revise things, and then you can make them work together as well. And then they both have an understanding, and they can, spend more time actually working with the map. Because the map is so fundamental. Every map is so fundamental to this game. Because that's what every game is based off of, It's you need the design to be good at the game as well. But if your maps suck, then you have things like Bloodlust that are supposed to help, but actually do nothing except ruin experiences. Like, that's the thing. I understand, like, whoa, yeah, Bloodlust has counterplay. Yeah, sure. Because the map sucks dick, and that's why there's counterplay to it. If you have super safe pallets, yeah, you just lost all your Bloodlust because this pallet is legitimately so safe I could slow vault over it, and you wouldn't be able to double back around a wall. Like, that new map is probably the worst thing for actually trying to play mind games on as killer, because every pallet you cannot mind game on because they're so safe. Like,
all the ones
some
inside
of them,
the preschool?
everyone inside the preschool, even the ones outside, have like giant long lengths to them that it's like you need Bloodlust 2 to even try to play a mind game on it. Like, why? I don't like breaking every pallet,
Graham
that removes some of the aspect. It's weird.
Such a weird map. I don't even like that's what whoa, my Jesus Christ. That's what I was gonna go on. We have a lot of maps that are just like one-offs, and then it just left. Like Haddonfield, you know? That was like a one-off map. And I think it's gotten barely any changes except like, you know, not every
Those
house being a full
balconies.
and yeah, those balconies. You know? Or like Treatment Theater. That's like, you know when Treatment Theater was released? I think in July. That's when Dog came out. And has that map gotten any changes yet? No, it's still the worst map to play on for both sides.
Yep.
Yo, Swamp got changed though. Oh, Pog.
Ooh.
I honestly, I would love to see like what you said, man. I would love to see them because I think, okay, I mean, you can sit there and say like, yeah, they should hire someone new or something to help out, but we don't know
60
like
people on their team. How is Matt like the only person doing maps?
But we don't like we don't know, dude. We're not game developers. We don't know what their financial situation's like.
Oh,
you know what I
for
mean?
sure. Yeah.
Like everyone always says, oh well, Dead by Daylight sold blah 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 amount of copies and blah blah blah. I did the math and blah, but you don't know the fucking expenses. You know, like
yeah.
they have offices to upkeep. They have fucking salaries to pay. They have like the events they have to go to. They have so much shit that they have to put money into. It's hard for us to say like, oh, just hire a new person. You know, like they probably can't. You know, they probably fucking thought that over and probably can't do it. You know. But like at the same time, I feel like what Mathman said is probably right. Like if they did just say like fuck it and just ceased all like production of new maps, like go ahead and release new content. Like you can go and design new killers, design like new abilities, new perks, but just don't give them a map. Fuck them. Don't
exactly.
Yeah.
Like thank
work
you.
on the old map. You know,
like
we don't need a map with every new DLC.
What
because
new
it always
map?
just turns out to be garbage.
Exactly. What new map has been fun? None of them.
Yeah,
They've all been shit.
Honestly, the best one we've ever gotten from a DLC, in my opinion. Okay, I guess you could say no, probably the Asylum. I think that's the best DLC map.
I would also agree with Asylum.
And even that one is not very good. Like it's okay. It's okay. It's not like as bad as Haddonfield or Larry's.
The Asylum building's still hell. In general.
Yeah, it really
is.
Yeah.
Still cancer, but less so than when it first came out.
And then, like, I think the second best one is probably the Red Forest.
Yeah,
which has the same problems as Asylum, I think, but because the middle building is just cancerous for killers to even try.
I agree, 100%. Like that's the problem. It's like not a terrible map. Like Asylum, I think is cool because it's killer, especially if you have whispers. That map is like whispers of heaven. You know exactly when they're in the corner.
It's an amazing
map I agree. And like with Red Forest, I also don't mind it. I just don't like it whenever I go to the middle building because it's like, damn, you have 3 windows, all of which are so nuts and easy to change.
Like,
yeah. Like I like that map. It's cool, right? Like
it's a cool map, yeah.
But it's still like heavily Survivor favored in my opinion. Which
I agree. Which I mean, I think pretty much every map is, to be honest.
Honestly, yeah. Like honestly, each map has its aspect of why it's Survivor sided. But it's based on RNG too.
Yeah,
like, you know, if you get a rotten field with fucking a 0 or all T-walls, you're just fucked. You know, like what do you
remember old Blood Lodge, which always used to be a hell for killers? Now it's like Blood Lodge now is so weird because it's either like the worst experience you can have as a killer, or it's the worst experience you can have as a survivor.
Yeah, it's either
so weird.
Yeah, it's either like a million pallets or just a barren wasteland of like tractor tires.
Yeah.
I wish I can't say the same thing for like T-Walls or anything, but stuff like double safe pallets, I just wish each map had like determined spawn points, but like the amount of pallets, or like where the pallets spawn, that changes up. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like yeah, I get what you mean, and trust me, I ain't saying anything, but wink, wink, nudge, nudge. When Matt Walker has free time, you know what I'm saying? Flair and him talked a lot in MOC about a cool system that might get introduced, and Matt might get some programmer time for it to do said things that you pretty much just explained.
Nice.
So we'll have to see how long this takes, you know? How long, when, whatever, all those numbers, but it's like one of those things that's at least talked about and Matt would love to do and fights for it.
Yeah, Matt, I feel like Matt is like really goddamn, I forgot the word. Passionate. He's really passionate about
Yeah.
the game. Which I think you gotta give it to the devs. I think they're all very passionate about their game. I think
I would agree.
be even
100%.
worse if they wouldn't be as passionate as they are.
Yeah,
Like imagine them being all like half-assed about the game because they're not.
Yeah.
They're really passionate.
I hate when people say, "Oh, the devs don't care." Blah blah.
Yeah.
Blah.
Yeah,
It's
because
not
they
true
don't.
at all.
care
They
so
just-
much.
They do, and they might make a shitty change, but they have an idea behind it. Sometimes they're terrible at explaining their idea, right? Like let's not talk about how Bloodlust was supposed to help Cal or power looping. Right? Let's just forget about that. But they at least had an idea, and they're like, guys, we're gonna try something. Hop on board. We're
That's
gonna
really
try
what we need. We need them to try stuff.
exactly,
Just
and then
try
when
stuff.
it's shit, they gotta stop trying.
We have a
it
test
instead of
server.
being
Why is that
the
never
dead horse.
being used? I don't
Yeah, I
understand.
wish the PTB existed. Feels bad, man. Like the few PTBs we had were kind of cool.
Right.
But yeah, like I don't know.
We
It's
went way
that's
off
what I
track.
agree.
We're definitely not
Yeah.
in Kansas anymore.
But that's the important part. We got to talk about the core of why Freddy sucks, because you can do scummy shit, which hasn't been changed, or isn't changed yet, or has partial changes, like 180 unhooking, garbage like that. And then we were talking about tapping. I agree.
Mhm.
I was fine with old recovery speeds being twice as long because you could instant tap someone up. It also took 0.5 seconds, by the way. It used to take 0.5 seconds, and now it takes 1.5 seconds, if my math is is correct.
I think we could get old recovery times back if you didn't have to hold mouse 1, and instead it would just automatically recover if you're not moving while on the ground.
Yeah, I think that'd be sick.
Just like small quality of life changes like that too.
And I remember their point about why they changed that. I'm sorry, I'm going off topic again, but I think this is also important to note.
No,
Is
it's
that
fine.
they
This
wanted
is
it?
totally why we do this. Just talk
They
about the game.
wanted recovery to have different options, because before, crawling away while you're a slug was they felt pretty terrible because you had to recover for so long and you could get one tap. So they wanted to incentivize possibly gaining distance away from the killer via crawling by changing it so you recovered really fast and then you could crawl away, and also making it so you didn't feel as punished for crawling away. But I think they could do that with like the slightest increase of crawl speed, because then, hey, now you can actually crawl away, gain distance, and get healed in a safe distance. I feel like if someone gets downed right beside a hook, the killer has all the right to patrol, but as the down survivor, it takes me way too long to gain any reasonable distance away, let alone to actually get healed up. And I think that's one of the biggest problems, is that they changed one of the aspects for the fix instead of another. And I feel like they should try these things, be like, hey, this PTB, we're going to try this, guys. Tell us how it plays out. We're going to go old recovery times. We're going to speed up crawl speed. Let us know what you think. You got a week.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine that probably, okay, I don't know anything about coding or programming or anything, but I imagine that probably wouldn't be too hard of a change either, right? Like, aren't those pretty basic things? Just like you're
literally changing a number. Like, literally, they changed 3 numbers, and that's it.
Yeah, that's what, yeah, like that, and that would be super nice. Like, honestly, if they did exactly what you said right there, that would probably be amazing. I would love that. If they made like recovery work the exact way it used to work, but then also make you crawl faster while down, that would be amazing.
Yeah, because then it gets rid of those situations that I feel they were aiming for, And I think I get where they're coming from. I just think, hey, why not try something else? You're giving another option in a different way that still allows for, the cool things such as one-tapping, which will help against Freddy's, nurses, Billies that want to slug, people that are strong with slugging.
Mm-hmm. Can I just mention quickly from the dev stream? Did you guys know, or would you guys have guessed, that Freddy has pretty much double the amount of DC rate than the nurse? Nurse actually has the lowest amount of survivors that disconnect.
Doesn't really surprise me. Shit nurses are literally the easiest thing to find.
Yeah, I agree with Tofu, and like that's the most nurses you see usually is really shit.
True.
That's why like their stats say that nurse is the strongest killer, because
Yeah, these,
of all
I
like
think
garbage
lowest
nurses.
kill rate too.
like, these stats are
Didn't make
really
sense.
cool. They always show off. But I think they interpret them wrong almost every time.
See, I literally asked them, like, why do you show these stats on stream? Like when they showed that face camping gives you 1.5 more kills average. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
You're just incentivizing people to do something that you don't want to incentivize. Like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
Like, literally, like, that's so bad.
I can't.
And like, they're like, oh, but you get 9,000 more points. But people like winning. People like winning. You know, it's a good feeling. You know, that's satisfying feeling of like, oh shit, you know, I won is what people want to feel. And when you're determined or defined win is killing people, you're going to incentivize them wanting to kill people, obviously. And to do this, you're now showing them that, oh yeah, face camping, preventing the survivor from getting saved, will net you more kills, which equals more wins, which equals play, you know, just don't play the game. You know, just sit in front of the hook for 2 minutes. Just don't play the game.
Yeah, it blows my mind to do shit like that, to be honest.
What if... I just thought about this while you were talking about this. Okay, so what if winning as a killer wasn't incentivized on killing? But what if, like, just imagine this. While you're playing killer, you have, like, this little bar on the side of your screen. And depending on how much shit you do to, like, prevent the rest from bleaching, just in general, like, hitting people, downing them, hooking them, and that bar fills up, and when that bar is full, you win the video game. Like, what if that was the winning condition for killers? Like,
instead of, like, a pit. Yeah, I agree. It's based on how, let's just say the term efficient you are in a game, right?
Because then, like, you wouldn't be mad if everybody survived and they were all on death hook, because you were like so efficient as a killer. You got everyone on death hook, and like you have like full points in every category, you know.
And you know,
and then like currently in the game, this game still spits you in the face, even though you have like 32k points, and the game still spits you in the face and saying, "Well, tough luck, buddy, you lost."
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that's been a problem forever, is the rank system being about kills and not points. I think points, like, I don't think points was perfect, you know what I mean? Because then that does, like, I think their main issue with that kind of shit is it promotes, like, killers that farm or whatever. But man, I would take a killer that farms over, like, every single fucking killer face camping and playing like a fucking, you know.
Me too.
You know, like, I think one there is definitely better than the other. And
I think the best experiences in DBD are the games where you just, as a killer, where you're just constantly chasing people, constantly, like, getting hits, getting downs. You know, just games where constantly something is happening as a killer, and not where you're just like walking around, you know, face camping one person,
and those games are more fun. Those games are more fun for both sides too, as survivor and killer.
Like, I love those games as a survivor. I don't care in those games. I don't even care if I get out or not, because like that's like when I play with 4 people in a survivor friends party. Like that's almost always how these games turns out for us. Like, we just keep trying to rescue each other, and everybody benefits, you know. And then we don't even care anymore if we like all died in the end, because it was so much fun.
Yep,
I agree completely. Yep,
I completely agree. I've had so many games like that as killer and survivor, where like I could get 4-man and it just feels fine. Or as a killer, you can kill nobody and it feels fine, just because there was so much action going on, you know? And I mean, really, like, we've talked about this before. Like, people play video games to interact, you know what I mean? Like I don't think anyone plays a video game to sit on a hook and have a killer stare at them, you know what I mean? Or to, like, realize that a killer is sitting there staring at a survivor, so they say, fuck it, let's just go hold M1 in a generator until they die, you know? Like, that's very uninteractive gameplay. There's no fun being had there, you know what I mean? And I completely agree. Like, that's a huge issue that I don't know why they'd leave alone, you know?
Like, I guess you can say that you're not always gonna have a like fun in a video game, you know? You're gonna have days where you lose, where you have bad games, but like at least try to make those days, or like, you know, playing sessions where you have like almost no fun playing the game happen as little as off possible, you know?
Yeah, agreed.
Because realistically, you can't always have fun playing a game, you know? There's gonna be situations where it's not gonna be fun.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're gonna like, but I'm saying like it should happen rarely, as opposed to, like, honestly, like definitely. I've had nights where every single survivor game I play is either against like a no-ed slugging Freddy, which is like a problem that we were discussing, or like against like people who face camp, and then after the game I'm like, why? And they're like, well, I have to secure my pip, and I'm like, okay, so, you know, like shit like that, where like it's, it's a game problem. It's not really like, and it's one of those things where you can't really blame them because it's a game problem. Like I'm not trying to say fuck those people. I mean, sort of fuck those people, but it's more a game problem. Like it's like they're doing it because they want to win. It's the game's problem that it gives them that incentive to win. And it does. I've had all night. Like I've had literally the entire night of playing Survivor where it's been nothing but shit. And that shouldn't happen. The game should give you incentive to not play like shit and give you incentive to play in a way that's fun, not in a way that isn't fun.
I agree. I think that's the big thing. You gotta make it so it's fun, not fun to play with and against.
Yep.
The thing too is, if you move pipping from kills to just how efficient a killer was, if you think about it, games where you just have, what we were saying earlier, where just constantly something's happening, people are rescuing each other every now and then. And maybe everybody gets wiped, or maybe everybody gets out, but like the killer got full points and stuff, Those games are they're more like a friendly competition, where like both people are kind of helping each other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's less of, the killer's trying to do something, like if the killer wins, we can't win. Why can't we have the game be like both sides can win at the end of a match?
Yeah, see, and like it even still is like that right now, technically with the pips or whatever. But the thing is that like with the whole thing being based around kills, it makes it like not as like I personally loved the old pip system. I don't know why they ever changed it. It's fucking depressing because back in the day, like you had incentive to want to let people get unhooked. Because if they get unhooked, you can then catch them again, which is points that you get for hitting them. You put them back on the hook, so you get the hook points. Like it gives you more points all around as a killer. Like it gave you incentive to like actually let people get saved. Whereas now you just don't have any incentive to let people get saved. Like why would you? The only fucking the only thing that gives you a win right now is getting the kill. So who cares about like letting them get saved and healed? Like who cares about getting 2 more hits on them as opposed to 1 from tunneling them or whatever the fuck? Because it doesn't matter. I don't know why they ever changed the points, man. It's weird. And it actually punished face campers, Like you can go and say right now, like, oh, face camping, blah, 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 because you can just rush gens. But the fact is that if you face camp a guy to death, that's half of your fucking pip right there, Like you can go and say that it has counterplay by gen rushing, but even that's pretty shitty counterplay because like it's not perfect. And on top of that, like I don't, it's okay. If you catch someone like right away with still 5 gens left, and then you face camp him to death, even if everyone's working on gens, all he has to do is catch 1 more guy and face camp him, and then bam, pip. Like it's not like you could literally face camp your way to a pip. You couldn't do that shit before. Like in the point system, if you try to face camp your way to a pip, you'd end the game with like 7k points, and then you just get
legit.
Fucked,
I was just about to bring that up. I had a guy that face camped 2 people and had 9.2k points, so he wouldn't have pip. All he did was catch someone, camp them with Insidious Leatherface, and that's it. He didn't actually play the game really.
Yeah, and then it rewards them because
exactly
they fucking pip. They pip with like 7,000 points. The survivors have a terrible time. They are barely even playing the game. They catch a guy, then sit there and stare at him for 2. Like, why do you want that to be something that's rewarded? Like that should not be rewarded. That should be absolutely punished. That's not. It's like anti-playing, dude. You're not even playing the game. The survivors aren't playing the game.
That reminds me, I remember, I think I've actually brought this up on the show before, but I remember playing with a friend. We played against this Leatherface who played. He played like, Jesus Christ, he was like tunneling, hard patrolling, shit like that. Out of the book, And he ended up pipping with 2 kills. And like everyone who got gifted was like, man, come on, why are you playing like that? That's so boring. Like, that's boring for you and for us. And he's like, well, I got a pip, so I must be doing something, right? That's literally what he said. And that stuck so hard with me. Because I find it amazing. Because it's like, he's right.
Yeah, he got like, honestly, he really is right. It's sad, but he's right. I mean, with the way Dead by Daylight works right now, I mean, yeah.
The game told him you won. You did the thing.
Yep.
The game told him, good job, buddy.
Good job, Facecam. Good job, man. Good job. You did it. You got the pip. You stared at them until they died. Good job. You're the fucking greatest. It's fucking terrible. It's awful.
Ruthless killer.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. And like, I just it seems like it would be easy to just like revert it too. Like how hard would it be to just revert? Like I think the old
probably
system
hardcoded it again.
wasn't amazing, but I think it was a million times better than this one. You know?
Yeah.
I know that they're coming out with a new system. I remember them mentioning it on the.
Oh yeah, the badge system.
Yeah, I
And
think it's called the badge system.
They're just making it sound so. I hope it's not overcomplicated. That's all I want. I don't want it to be complicated, like fucking again, like legal. Like you get LP and you rank up divisions. Like,
Dude, let me get my ELO, boys.
I'm a diamond
Farm
tier survivor.
Elo shower.
I'm diamond 30
Showering in
survivor.
Elo.
My new title is 7500 ELO survivor, best in world huge swims. Catch me online, every week. Oh, thanks, guys.
I'm a challenger Billy, man. So come with me.
No, but
Challenger Billy one
okay.
trick pony. Let's go.
Is the whole badge system is that similar to the tug of war system is that the same thing?
Yeah, they said something about the tug of war system.
See,
right?
because
Wait, what's tug of war?
The whole tug of war system is the thing I was.
Where
it
they
was
have,
the thing
like-
where like
You had like
there was,
5
like, 4 different
categories, and if
categories.
the killer won in one category, like, okay, so like the category generators. If all generators were done, then the survivors won in that category. And if only a few
it's not
generators
really
were
like
done, then the
winning a
killers won.
category. I think it's like a certain amount of points in each category. Like for each gen you get done, you get like points in the generator category.
Yeah,
And
basically.
then the killer
Oh.
loses points in the gen
And like
category.
the end,
you know? So
the result is decided by which side has gotten more points. You know.
yeah.
I guess it's kind of like the efficiency thing. I just wish both sides can win a game because I
Mhm.
think
Yeah,
both
that's all I
sides
want.
can win a game. I don't think if one side wins, the other needs to lose. I don't really
I
see
think that's
that.
dumb,
It's
especially
like
in asymmetrical
I mean,
games.
but that's how it works right now, though. Like I don't.
I know exactly.
Yeah,
That's the problem. Like Pip's system was great. Everyone can win, everyone can have fun, and you got rewarded for having fun and being cool. Because you get more points for just switching targets and constantly, juggling people here and there and not constantly going for the same guy.
Yeah, the old pip system, yeah, for sure. Like in this one right now, like everyone can still win, but like you said, it's just there's too much incentive to like play in a way that's just kind of mad to play against. Like the old one that was based on points was good. Like this one's, I do agree though that like no matter what they change, I think if they do change it to a system where like one side clearly wins and like them winning means that the other side loses, like basically if they make it so that everybody can't win, then that makes it more like competitive, which I think is a
And
really bad
that
thing.
also wouldn't make sense, in my opinion, because all survivors could have played really well, or they could just be really good survivors, and then they got wiped because, I don't know, it's a Freddy with...
It's a Leatherface in
It's
the
a
face.
Leatherface in the
Kill us
basement, and then
all.
they lose, and it's like, you lose, you're bad. And it's like, no, but we outplayed that Leatherface the entire game, and we just did one bad thing,
Like, I hope it's something like, let's say, I always say this when I heard the badge system. I was like, I just hope if I run a killer around for 4 gens and get face camped, that I won that game, alright? I better win that game.
Yeah, too. And then and then it still tells you lost because your teammates fucked up and shit. It's just weird.
Yeah. So if it's like a personal basis on how well you played, I think that could be good, And I think if they actually are willing to fine tune and put a lot of time into it, I think they could make something that's like, oh, you can have fun, and if you have fun and you're playing well as killer, that's all that matters. Like, I don't think playing well is sitting in front of someone, for 120 seconds. I don't think playing well is pressing W and then pressing M1, I think playing well is like, oh man, I doubled back at Shaq the first time, and then the next 2 times I didn't, and I got 2 hits out for free. It was like, I mind gamed them. I made them think I was doing something, and I gave them the Dickens.
The Dickens.
The
The
Dickens.
low down, dirty Dickens.
And it's
I
also
think if
what I
Hey,
find
go
really
on, you
funny
go.
is there's no such thing as winning in DBD, So I don't understand why they're trying to make it a thing.
I got my pip, sir. I
So I
won
win.
the game.
Sir, I got my pip, so I won. The game told me I did something right.
I got 3 chain blinds into a Palestine. I won the game.
So you, just glasses, are wrong.
I don't know. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with having a system where you can win, you know? Like I agree that this game's kind of silly because it's not like a competitive game, you know? So like it's kind of weird to be like, you know, winning and losing in this game, seeing as how it's just it's obviously like as casual as a game gets almost, you know? The only thing not casual about this game is the fact that that you're playing against other players and it's not PvE, you know? The fact it's like probably the most casual that a PvP game can be. But still, like I don't think there's anything wrong with having a way to win the game. Because I think people like winning games, you know, like they want to have like a goal to shoot for and stuff, you know, like they don't want to just be like, you know, just thrown in there and then just do whatever and like fuck it doesn't matter, you know.
Yeah.
Like I think that see, like I think part of me liked that about like F13 because F13 was like that, you know, there was no actual goal. It was just like you just do whatever and then at the end of the game you get XP. And part of me likes it, but at the same time, part of me thinks it was bad because I think people want that like, you know, cool. Yeah, they want to have like something to shoot for, you know, like they want to have like something that says like, oh, either you win or you lose. Like I think it's okay to have that, but if you're gonna have that, it has to be something that's fun. You know what I mean? It has to be something that it gives incentive to be fun to play with it against. Because if you're literally like here's how you win and lose, but the best way to do this is to fucking play like an asshole and ruin everyone's fun, then everyone's just gonna be playing like an asshole because everyone wants to win, you know, and then no one's gonna have any fun. So as long as they have like a win and lose system where, you know, the way you win is playing in a way where everybody has fun, then I mean, fuck yeah. I mean, that's basic video games. You know, you want people to have fun playing your video game. You know, that's fucking weird to me. That's like, I don't know.
Like the thing, they don't want people to have fun.
I mean, dude, if that's really it, like I know I've seen clips of
I feel like that really is it though. Like
I don't know. I've seen Matthew say that he likes that Doctor's frustrating and
stuff.
Oh
yeah,
like shit like that.
I think that is stupid, but I think people take that a little bit out of context. I mean,
I
is dumb
agree.
as shit. Don't get me wrong. Like, I mean, it is dumb to say, oh, this killer is annoying and frustrating to play against, and like rubs his hand together. Perfect.
I mean, if that's what he wanted the killer to be, then that's fine, you know. But I just hope it doesn't. Like, we don't know what he really meant. Like, that's what I'm saying. Maybe he just meant, okay, I wanted this specific killer to be like frustrating to play against. That's all I wanted. But like the out of context thing, it might be like maybe because everybody thinks like I hope it's not the case, but it's just what it sounded like that he wants killers in general to be frustrating to play against, you know?
Yeah, see, I don't.
Because really, that's what he could have meant. Maybe he just wanted the Doctor to be frustrating.
Yeah, I think that's 100% what he meant. And even that, I don't think I think people take it a little bit too far. Like, I mean, he's live streaming. He's not like. You know, it's hard when you're someone like Matthew because literally every single thing you say is going to be like, you know,
twisted turn.
Matthew, people do that to Matthew all the time. I feel
like
so bad for him, to be honest.
Yeah, like if he slips up and says something like me, for instance, like I say shit like that I don't like necessarily mean or like out of context or like, you know, like. Or like sometimes I'll phrase something wrongly that can be taken the wrong way, you know? Like if I was someone of like Matthew's stature who was like in charge of an entire video game that like thousands of people played, dude, I couldn't even tell you how many misquotes I'd have.
Yeah.
Like, people would be like clipping shit I'd say and be like, Tofu thinks this, because I'm just like kind of bad at wording things, you know? So like maybe that's what's going on with him. Like he's probably just like spurting shit out without really like meaning or thinking about how people are gonna take it.
That's what I was about to say, because I sometimes think Matthew doesn't realize that it doesn't actually really watch out for what he says. I
mean, why would he though? Like he's literally
he doesn't have to, you know.
He's not at work. He's sitting at home. He's streaming his video game that he made to people to try to just relax and have a good time, you know. Like that's what he's doing. Like he's not trying to sit there and like it's not a fucking press conference, you know. He's not trying to sit there and like give these like fucking PC answers and make sure he doesn't slip up and say anything wrong. He's just trying to relax and play video games, you know. So like, you know, if he slips up and says something that can be taken the wrong way, people clip it, they pass around all the discords and everyone shares it. And everyone's like, look at how dumb Matthew is. He's ruining the game. And the poor guy is just like fucking playing his game. You know?
Yeah,
like,
I agree.
I'm not saying that Matthew's perfect. You know what I mean? I do think that like he does make some like questionable decisions and shit, but like, man, people go way overkill with that shit. Like,
I agree.
The poor fucking guy can't say a goddamn word without people like, you know, jumping.
Clip it, get it.
Yeah, clip it, record it. We gotta record. We haven't recorded.
I think we did a good job so far.
Yeah, like I
Jesus
feel
Christ.
bad for the guy, man. It sucks.
I think the worst clip, and I will always hate people when they meme about this clip. Like, I mean, I get why they meme, but is
this
Matthew
is the
Cote
Infinite
said, yes, he said on stream,
I think it takes so much skill to pull off an
anything,
Infinite.
it takes so much skill for a survivor to pull off anything resembling an Infinite. Now, yes, misquote,
That is
but what
taking
he
so
was
much out of
referring
context
to,
so much.
yes,
It's
was the
crazy.
topic of that jungle gyms, and to him, most likely T-walls did take a lot of quote unquote skill, and not a lot of people knew about it. It was like that up and coming thing, 4-line walls.
Yeah, people thought he meant
gyms,
like the
T-walls.
Ironworks window.
Exactly, but he didn't, because that's the context that it was taken out of.
Yeah.
And at that time, if you told someone, like, is Jungle Gym an Infinite? People would be like, I don't know. It's hard. It's really hard to catch someone. But is it truly infinite? Yeah, like that's the thing.
And
so he was relating to that, not Ironworks.
The worst part about that is too, like, how many people watch the stream? 2,000 people. How many play the game? Like 20,000 people. Those 2,000 people are the ones who knew what he was talking about, but those other 18,000 didn't. So when those other 18,000 saw that clip and they were like, dude, he thinks the Ironworks window takes skill with the dumbass.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's the
gonna...
problem.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
like,
yeah.
Poor guy, though. Like, I mean, like, sure, I completely understand what he meant by that, Yeah, exactly. Like
we
Matthew,
had blame McLean, and then we said, don't blame McLean. Let's stop blaming Matthew.
Yeah, like, come on, everyone's human as well. You're gonna make shitty changes or, like, shitty decisions. And honestly, I don't think Matthew Cote handles the public side of things very well, if you've checked his Twitter before. But, like, come on, he's a human being, too. We're all gonna make mistakes. We're not all perfect. And it's really crappy being misquoted on everything you say, especially since that stream they were talking about, like, jungle gyms and how they were removing a window from jungle gyms, T-walls, and 4-line. Actually, 4-line walls didn't get touched, but that's another topic. But yeah, it's like that. It's like when they wanted to do a change that was for the better of map design as a temporary thing, and people took that quote completely out of context when they were looking into it. I don't know. It's just pretty shitty, Feels bad, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said though. It's like part of being like a big.
It's part of being the PR person.
Yeah, exactly. Like if you're a big up and up in a game where a lot of people play, anything you say is going to be, quoted and taken out of context, and it sucks. Like I'd rather people not do it or whatever, but at the same time, it's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like I think he needs to watch what he says more or whatever, but at the same time. Like, I wish he didn't. Like, he really shouldn't have to if the world was a perfect place and people weren't, pieces of shit. But what the hell are you gonna do? I shouldn't even say people were pieces of shit because a lot of people just don't know. A lot of people got shown that clip of him saying the Infinite takes skill, and they didn't know. Like, it's kind of like they kind of like Mathman said, they just didn't know the context. So I shouldn't say people are pieces of shit, but at the same time, like, it is terrible that like. Yeah, it just sucks that people try to spread it around, and because like people do spread it around trying to give him a bad image. Like,
exactly.
That's part of this community again. That's what I'm saying. Like, I understand this community is just like so toxic. I mean, I'm not saying that everybody in this community is a horrible person, but like I feel like the majority.
Really? I honestly think the opposite. I think in any gaming community, you're going to have a select few that are toxic as fuck.
I guess, yeah, because I think those are the loudest voices usually, true.
Yeah, exactly.
I guess I was just going on a limb there.
Yeah. I mean, I think every game... I do know there is toxic people.
The toxic people in this community are goddamn toxic on a whole new level.
See, even that I don't know. I've played in some other communities that were really, really toxic. Like, to the point where they're literally, like, doxing each other and fucking... I've seen some shit,
In my experience, I guess, then. In my experience, they're, like,
I guess.
really, really toxic.
Yeah, they're assholes, I should say. Like, they're definitely... Like, the people that are toxic in this community are fucking dicks. And they do like to attack and, like especially the devs and shit. But, I don't know. I think generally this community is pretty nice. I like it a lot.
There's a lot of cool people.
I've met some really nice people in this community.
Yeah, same. Like, I think that's the same with every community. I just think you'll always see the negative more so than you'll see the positives, That's just how life is usually. you'll always see the shit, but more so than like the good shit.
Yeah, you don't remember like the really fun games. You always remember the games where you got face scanned by a Leatherface after being caught in 30 seconds in. You know.
Yeah.
That's what you remember. You remember that game against that really fun to play Rave, that was really fun to play against, and it was like really silly all the time. You don't remember that. You also remember that shitty
Leatherface. That
Leatherface.
just face camped you while cloaked as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, damn, that was a lot. You guys still want to talk about Michael Myers?
Yeah, I don't even know. We've been going for like an hour.
Yeah, we've been going for that. I was actually planning to talk about Michael Myers, but I think we filled a good hour with this, and I don't even know if we should anymore. Like save it for an episode.
Yeah, I mean,
Myers, man. Freddy stole the spotlight because I was planning Myers for the Halloween episode, and then Freddy got released.
Phil's birthday, man.
We'll get to him eventually. Dude, there's not much to talk about
Poor
Myers
Michael.
anyway. I don't think it's a big deal.
Yes, what else to talk about for Michael too, yeah.
And I trust me, I'm like 100% sure on this. We'll like, if you save it for like next week and then we talk about it, we'll talk like 2 hours, like or like 20 minutes or 30 minutes of Michael Myers, and then we'll just go off on something else as well.
Yeah, that's how it always happens, dude.
But that's why I like this podcast, dude. It's so fun. It's like I know that'll happen. It always does.
Yeah, always does. No fail.
It's like we're 3 people here and we still felt like an hour. Which would like I think this right now, if we like end it now, it's gonna be the shortest episode yet, but I think that's fine since we're only 3 people.
I think honestly we should shoot for our episodes to be maybe this short, like an hour and a half. I think it's like the perfect time, to be honest. Like I don't think podcasts
2.5
should be,
hour
like,
episodes are
2.5.
kind of extreme.
Yeah.
Like what we did last week was just. Oof. Then again, we had like Mathman and Flair on the show. Like that was bound to happen.
Yeah, like there's a lot to say. I mean, there's always a lot to say about this game. I mean, we're all people that have played this game forever, and we love this game. I mean, I'm sure I can speak for all of us to say that we love this game. We love the people that we meet on this game and the community, and like I think we're all passionate about it. So we have a lot to say. And this game also happens to be in a place where it fucking needs a lot of goddamn help right now because there's a lot wrong with it. So there's definitely a lot to say. So, I mean, it does make sense that the podcast go along. And it does make sense that we go in rants, too, because there is a lot to say.
But yeah, you're like, we go in rants, but then we go on, like, I don't think what we just had was a rant, like, about the whole McCody thing. I mean, that was just, like, acknowledging that McCody's just a human being.
Yeah, I think that's shit that people need to know, I think people need to hear that, because I do think people give him, like, way too hard of a time. And I think people do misquote him a lot and shit, And I still stick to the fact that I'm not saying I completely am behind Matthew and everything that he does, because I still do think he makes some bad decisions sometimes. But at the same time, like you said, he's human. Like it happens.
And,
like everybody's gonna make bad decisions.
Even though I hate saying that, it's still like his game,
Yeah.
And I assume
it tastes really bitter to admit that, but it's his game. We can't tell him what to do.
Yeah, we'll try to give him suggestions, and be like, hey, we're not having fun with this. Sometimes it's in the form of fucking, kill yourself. Why do you think infinites are skilled? People do that. But, we'll give suggestions as much as we can.
Well, tough luck, Myers. Maybe next time.
Myers will get the spotlight one day.
One day, no? you know that image of the Myers standing behind the pallet, and he's like, when you want to be a scary killer, but the teenagers keep outsmarting you. I love that image so much. That's what I'm thinking of right now.
Sounds good.
You haven't seen it? That's been posted like to the subreddit at least 10 times. But it's so good. It looks so good. He's so depressed in that picture.
That makes you have to go to Reddit, and hey, we don't go
we
there.
don't
We don't go there.
condone this kind of behavior around.
Yeah, we don't condone Reddit killers. You know what I'm saying? I just don't look at Reddit because I like my brain cells intact every once in a while.
Dude, going on Reddit for a good laugh every now and then. Just like reading through some of the threads. It's aight. Can't believe I'm saying this because I'm probably gonna post this to Reddit later anyways. Whatever.
I mean, Reddit's perfectly fine. I mean, didn't
Reddit's
you
fine, but
have some fun
some of the
Reddit?
people Reddit. It's just come on.
Yeah. I just
Come on,
feel
dude.
like everyone feels like they have the most valuable of opinions, and I think it's totally fine. It's just, sometimes, my brain cells can't handle reading your opinion. You know what I'm saying? That's why I don't go there.
Agreed.
I save myself the trouble. I still think it's fine to share your opinion. I just think there's sometimes more knowledgeable opinions that I would rather care about based on experience, understanding, all that stuff. There's a bunch of
I think what you're
factors.
trying to say is that Reddit is full of people that are like newer to the game and don't really know what they're talking about. That are,
Exactly.
But like
which
that's
is
it's-
fine.
That makes sense though, because when you're new to the game, you wanna find communities, so you go on Reddit. And you're like, hell yeah, dude!
Like-
I can openly post my opinion on this. Hell yeah, dude!
I can openly,
I've like-
angrily write about how unfair Freddy
Like
is.
50 hours in the game. Hell yeah!
I mean, I really don't. That's totally fine. It's just not a place I want to be. If that's the
Same.
case.
Yeah.
I just don't. I
It's
agree
fine.
with
It's
that.
fine.
Yeah.
It's just like I'd rather not.
Yeah, same. Like I think they are totally cool to go share their opinion. I think that's totally healthy and fine of them. I just disagree with most of their opinions, and also the majority, like the way Reddit works is, the hive mind, they vote on shit, and
Mhm.
most of them agree with each other because most of them are new. So any opinion from someone who disagrees just gets shit on. So
I mean,
and
that's
in
that's
a little,
every subreddit for you, though.
yeah.
Almost.
But I
every
mean-
And
subreddit.
that's the problem with in general. But yeah, no, I completely agree with you, Tobu. It's like
Except
that
me,
hive mind mentality.
Yeah, but
as
and,
well.
and that is fine. I mean, they're a community and they can feel however they want. I just disagree, so I don't really go.
I mean,
and even then, I do agree with some of the stuff because I do see some good posts. I'm not even gonna.
yeah,
I
true.
can't say that it's all bad. I do see some good stuff, but honestly, like every time I go to Reddit these days, it's just posts where it's either shit post about salty survivors here, shit post about salty killers here, then
Survivor
tons of
Friends is
uploads
OP, baby rage.
and-
I can't even play the game, baby rage.
Yeah, like it's just I don't know. It's literally just people posting about people being salty. And,
Here's my killer idea of a killer that survives as survivors.
yeah. New killer concept, new DLC concept. And even honestly, I like that more than anything. Like
Yeah,
ideas
true,
about the
it's
game.
like-
I'd rather have
But
that.
most of
than
it is
people-
rewatch content.
Yeah, I agreed.
We're not saying it's all bad, but like the Reddit pitchfork stereotype exists for a reason.
Yeah, for sure. And I do wish it was less shit posty, but what the fuck?
Yeah,
Who the hell
that's
am I?
true. It's like every second post is a shit post.
Yeah, it's even more than that. It's literally like 5 shit posts for one regular post. It's crazy.
And they're not even funny most of the time. They're most of the time
I
just rewatch
know.
content.
I
think the top scored post right now is like some meme about where are my sacrifices, killer, and the killer like holds up a Mori. And I think I've seen variations of that meme like 5 times already.
Like right now, I just clicked on it, dude. I just clicked on it. And the top post here, I want to pull it up on my.
It's a
own
guy
screen.
linking to his version of the meme, right?
No, it's a new shit post about salt. It's literally what I just said. This is literally the top. I want to show it on my stream. I know you can't. Maybe you can show it on the podcast or something. But like, dude, literally, this is like
Oh my
it's
God.
literally a picture of like a drawing of Myers in Leatherface, and they're I don't even know what this is a reference to, but it's heading to the salt mines.
I see that.
Like, dude, like this is all Reddit, dude. It's all shit
Oh my
posts about
God.
like, no, survivors are salty killers. It's all it is, man. It's crazy. Like, God, it never ends. It never ends with the salt post. Like, man, I
I
don't
see
know.
that. I see one now
I
too.
f-
with
I
all
think
the
I've
Mori
seen-
pictures.
I've seen the video with this guy in the salt mine. He's like, life down here was all salt. The salt is a way of life down here. I think that video's been posted like 5 times.
Oh
too.
my God! Yeah,
You know
I
what video I'm
I've
talking
seen
about?
it. Yeah,
Like the guy
I've
with the
seen it.
miner's name is like, salt is a way of life down here. You either become salty or you die thirsty. Something like that. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, it's I don't know. That's all I feel like on
Stupid.
Reddit is literally like, it's so appropriate that I went and that was the top post. It's really not surprising at all. That's literally all I see. It's depressing. I miss when Reddit was like full of like, I mean, but then again, this was also back whenever the game was still like being discovered and people were discovering. Because I remember I used to go there and see like clips of like Tom doing like game breaking shit that no one knew about, like discovering new tech and shit, And I mean, that can't happen anymore because this game's been out so long that everyone knows what the fuck's going on. Very rarely does anyone discover new tech, you know. But I miss it being like stream highlights and like actual just like actual like fucking calm discussions without just everyone being like, oh my god, survivor main spotted, oh killer main's triggered.
Oh my god,
like,
fucking these comments. Spotted the salty survivor main.
yeah, see, like
Free
right
karma.
there you go. See, right, that's exactly like it's just everyone calling each other killer mains or survivor mains, everyone calling everybody salty. Like there's not a lot of like actual discussion anymore, or like I mean, I'm a sucker for stream highlights just because I'm a streamer myself, and I also love seeing other people's good content, you know. So like I'm kind of a sucker for that. But even if you're not a fan of that shit, like even just like discussions is so much better to me than you know,
like,
salty survivor, salty killer. Yeah, exactly.
Reading through a good discussion can be just as fun as taking part in a good discussion.
Yeah, I'm a huge. I mean, I never post to Reddit. I'm a huge lurker on Reddit, but I love this. Yeah, I love reading it. I love just seeing different people's opinions. You know, like it's great. Like I can't see it anymore. Like I never see discussion. But like I can't say never. I do rarely. But even then, it's usually like I don't know. It actually I can't say that. I have seen some good discussions, but like I said, I had to go through like 20 shit posts to find one discussion post, and then. You know, it ends up being like not a lot of comments and not a lot of upvotes because the shit posts are getting comments and upvoted. You know, it's I don't know.
To be fair though, you remember those videos? Oh my god, what was his name? Dawkins and then like a number who made like these things survive. Yeah. Those videos are amazing.
Yeah,
those were actually funny.
I know, Doc.
That's where we got the Straight to the Infinite thing from, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I've known Dawkins for years. He's a funny guy. I don't think he plays.
I think I'm on his Discord server, but I never like.
I don't think he ever plays Dead by Daylight. I never see him on. I watched the stream for a bit there too.
Yeah, I used to play competitive Left 4 Dead 2 with him, so I've known him for like years. He's a funny guy, and he used to play, and he's a memer, so he does shit like that. But yeah, I mean, he stopped too. There's just like I just feel like there's not a lot of like good content being made, or like anything like media wise anyway that's like worthwhile anymore. Like no new tech, no like
a big survivor montage.
Like yes.
Watch me 360 these bad killers.
Yeah, aside from those,
extreme.
God, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna name names, but I went and I tried to watch some videos of YouTubers that everyone says are like good and funny. Like I've heard like recommendations of certain people that I should go watch because they're like amazing and funny and also good at the game. And oh my god, it's awful. It's exactly what I thought.
I thought so too. I feel
just terrible dookie killers that like. I mean, I shouldn't like shit on the killers because the killers are clearly new. I should say new. They're new killers that they're just taking advantage of and running around and 360ing and then just like I don't know with like dumb sound effects attached to it. And I'm just like, dude, come on, like
it triggers me when there's like that actually triggers me when all they did was like put a black and white filter on it, and you can see that's like minimum effort. And then people post comments like, great editing. It was like, what? Are you serious? You wouldn't see great editing if it was right before you. Oh well. That wasn't even like, Jesus Christ, that was so off topic.
Yeah.
Well, it was on Reddit.
I mean, yeah, we're basically there is no topic anymore. We're just kind of like ending the podcast with random fucking ramblings,
having a good time at this point.
Talking about Reddit, Reddit's it's important to think. I don't think I've ever been on the DVD Reddit. Like I remember someone posting like I think it was a year ago now or 9-10 months ago their favorite streamers, and I just saw that this like a week ago or something. Someone linked it to me.
Nice.
I was like, wait a minute, this existed like 10 months ago?
What?
Sick. It was also pretty funny because 99% of the comments were just Tom 72, Tom 72. Oh, Tofu's pretty cool. That guy's cool. Tom.
Dude, I mean, Tom was a great streamer, man.
He is.
Yeah, but his chat is
hell entertaining. Oof.
Let's not go. Actually, let's not. Oh my god.
That's just kind of what happens when you're a big streamer, though, right? Like, have you ever seen a big streamer?
If you become like,
no, you don't think so?
Your chat becomes cancerous.
He wasn't that big. If you're like 20,000 big, sure.
Yeah,
but like, there's plenty of streamers that have like 1,000 people chat who aren't that bad. Like I'm not saying anything. Don't get me wrong. I love Tom, but like I'm pretty sure he just encouraged it. You know,
Yeah,
he either encouraged it or he didn't.
That's why.
Or he didn't punish it. You know, like if my chat ever gets all fucking spammy, I'll just try to like time him out. I'm like, dude, don't be idiots. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
You know,
I think it's just like. I think it goes with Tom's personality, though. You know, I think he does just
kind of
play
a
off
shitposter.
because he's a memer. He's
Tom
just
is kind of
completely a
shitposter,
jokester.
IRL. He's
exactly.
like, which is, you know, I love that. That's
it's fine. That's what he is.
Fun. He's a funny guy.
But that's what I'm saying, for sure. I'm just saying, like, usually, you know, the bigger you are, the more potential and ability for this to happen. You know, if Tom was like a 20 viewer streamer, it'd be a lot harder to fucking meme and have chat be like that. You know, it's like the more the merrier.
Yeah, but still, I don't think you can say that any stream that's his size is gonna be spammy.
Yeah, that's
sure.
Yeah, no, not at all. I'm just saying, you know, correlative to how big your chat is, you know, you can play off of it, and it's gonna, you can allow it to happen easier, and you know, not care. Tova, if you were that big, I think your chat would still be the same, nice, you know, talking, informative. People are all chill, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, yeah, I mean, there is a certain point. Like, I think once you get like a few thousand is when it starts to get crazy. But honestly, like, even if you look at like Pug or like Sexy Hexy's chat, they're not like spammy idiots. Like, yeah, it's really active, you know what I mean? But they're not like dude, like Tom's chat was literally just some person would come into the chat who like clearly English wasn't their first language, and they would say something that didn't make any sense. And then the entire chat
would copy
paste it. Yeah, they would just paste it for like an
that
hour
guy
straight.
Dead by Day that got mod in his chat for saying Tom pound Budstar is like
yeah, like
can you repeat that? Tom pound.
Yeah, there's the emote called like pound, and then there's like it's like POOUND, and he always did 3 of that emote, right?
What?
And he'd be like Tom pound, and then like have this star, and I think it's called a Bud Star. And just everyone copied that, and that was their greeting from that point on. Exactly, that's the kind of shit that happens.
Why?
Yeah.
It's so stupid. I can't. Oh.
Like, I'm not even memeing you. Like, if you said that, like, literally, it's those emotes.
It's that emote?
Yeah, it's that emote.
I always thought that's Makoti.
No. It was like
so much like Makoti. What the fuck? Jesus.
So yeah,
Christ.
that's what I'm talking about. That's the kind of shit, and just everyone copy pastes it.
Yeah, but that's also kind of why Tom's chat was such a good time. You know, like it was
For sure.
Like
That sounds hilarious,
like,
though. Yeah.
discuss shit or anything, you know. But like, if you want to just go and fucking meme,
Turn your
it was a
brain
great
off and
place
just
to go
shit
meme,
post.
Yeah, exactly. It was a great place for that, for sure.
And Tom's just a memer himself, so it worked
Yeah.
perfectly, you know.
Yeah.
So that's why I think it was good. But yeah, it's like Tofu. Your chat's all like, you know, oh, we're all like, we're all civilized and we talk about stuff. You know, we still have fun, but it's more like actual interaction of like chatting about the game, you know, or things going on with yourself. You know, it's more personal, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's a place.
I think both are fine. Yeah, I think both are
Totally,
fine.
yeah. It's like if you don't like it, just don't watch it. You know?
Yeah, or just don't
turn
talk.
off the
You
stream.
can
Turn
watch
off the chat. Turn off the chat. You can turn off the chat. Twitch gives you that option.
Yeah. I sometimes do that. You know, sometimes I ain't feeling like memeing or just like, you know, talking. Just watch the Futo, you know?
Yeah, man. Just turn on the chat. It's easy. It's right there. It's like a little arrow. Just click it. Chat's gone. But yeah. Fucking hell, that last part of the show. That sure was something.
Yeah. What are we going on? We should probably just end this podcast.
Yeah,
What
I
are we
was
going on
about to say.
now?
Yeah, I just want to
I
keep
think
rambling.
Tofu's
Though,
chat's like starving for sub games at this point.
Yeah, I mean that, and we're also just kind of bullshitting randomly.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
there's
true.
not really-
That's
there's
the
not really
reason
much
why
to
I'm-
discuss in
Let's
the
just
game.
end it before we accidentally like shit talk someone.
We love Tom. We ain't shit talking.
Yeah,
man.
we all love Tom. We all respect him as a person.
I just feel like we went from like talking about the game to just talking about like
Reddit and
Twitch and
Stuff
Reddit
around
and
the
like
game.
Yeah.
like we're not really talking about the game anymore. We're just talking about like communities.
I would say, yeah.
All right. Plug the email. You can send us. We didn't get any emails, by the way.
Feels bad, man.
You can send us emails at daylightcastpodcast@gmail.com. That's daylightcastpodcast@gmail.com. This has been a pleasure. Mathman, he streams on Twitch occasionally. Tofu, he streams on Twitch almost daily. So, so you can go check him out. Thanks for listening, and signing off. Goodbye. You guys don't want to say goodbye?
Later, nerds.
No,
one.
shaking my head.
Later, nerds. Later.